Now for some analysis, let's bring in Peter Kuznick. He's professor of history at American University. Peter, first up, great having you. Could you help us make sense of what Maduro in U.S. custody means right now?
Well, Maduro faces anywhere from a minimum of 50 to 60 years in prison to several life sentences if he's convicted. It's not entirely clear he's going to be convicted, but given the mandatory minimum sentences, if he's convicted of all counts, it's a minimum of 50 or 60 years. Since he's in his early 60s, that's a death sentence.
And in terms of the international context, what kind of message does hauling a sitting leader to the U.S. send to, to the rest of the hemisphere and the world?
It means that the United States has declared the law of the jungle. Might makes right. International law is out the door. The United Nations is irrelevant. The United States has the strength to do whatever it wants, wherever it can. And so it's completely torn up any shred of civilized ways of solving problems, of diplomacy, saying the United States has the strength and the right to intervene wherever it wants, seize whatever it wants, overthrow whoever it wants on whatever pretext it desires. So that all the things the U.S. has been saying about why it was doing what it was doing in the Caribbean have been lies. And Trump was very clear about that yesterday. He said, this is about oil. We want Venezuela's oil. We're going to take Venezuela's oil. They stole this oil from us. It really our oil, and now we're going to take it back. He sent a warning also that he can do the same thing elsewhere, which means Nicaragua, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Cuba, you name it. And he's also said, almost in the same breath, that if he doesn't like the way the Iranian government is handling the protests in Iran, then he's going to intervene to overthrow that government too. So this is and we see this on top of the national security strategy he recently passed, which targets not only Latin America, says that there's a new Monroe Doctrine Trump corollary, which means the U.S. can do whatever it wants in Latin America, but he's also talking about the first island chain, about stopping China, and about building up the forces to surround and contain China, not only about Taiwan, but much more broadly than that. So this is a declaration of war against civilized world and against diplomacy and against the United Nations and against the rule of law.
And Peter, has this move weakened the regime in Caracas?
We don't know what's going to mean for the regime. We just know that they removed the leader and his wife. The regime itself seems to be still intact. This is a country that's larger than Iraq was bigger population than Iraq had when the United States invaded there in 2003, twice the size. The United States said that Iraqi oil was going to pay for the U.S. invasion. Well, that didn't work out. And this is not going to be an easy situation to execute militarily. The United States could very easily get drawn in, have boots on the ground, be forced to occupy, have a war go on for years and years there, which is not what even Trump's supporters voted for. He promised to be a peace president. He promised to avoid these overseas entanglements. And a lot of them are very, very angry between that and the Epstein files and the cost of living.
I see. Peter Kuznick, thank you so much for your time and insights.
My pleasure.